Making knotwork graphics, the kind associated with Celtic motifs and so on, can be a little bit of a challenge, and in this movie you're going to learn one technique for how you could make knotwork patterns. We're going to start with the simplest of those, a Triquetra motif. So let's go ahead and dive in with me, Tony Harmer, aka the Design Ninja, here in the Work Smarter, Not Harder dojo. So I've got myself a nice new document here. It happens to be 1080p, but it could be whatever size you like. Now it will be handy for you to use smart guides. So turn those on using the shortcut Command U or Control U. Or if you need to go to the menu system, you'll find them in the view menu just away down here. Okay, with those on, we're going to need a triangle to start with. So we're going to go to the polygon tool, okay, and select that. Now I'm going to go to the center of my document just here, which I'll find any second now. Okay, there we are, just there with my smart guides there, showing me the center. I'm then going to hold down the Shift key to keep this proportional, okay, like so, and draw a smallish triangle like so. The Shift key is kind of important there because it keeps it nice and flat, as it were, easier to manage. Now, if you're working in a newer version of Illustrator, anything from maybe the last sort of 6, 7, 8 years or so, you'll be creating a shape object here, and you can tell really quickly, usually because there's a corner widget here which allows you to change the corners. We don't want a shape here, so what we're going to do is go to the Objects menu, come down to Shape and choose Expand Shape like so, so that we just have geometry. Now this is made with 3 points, not a surprise to you, I'm sure, and we'll just have a look at those by using Command Y or Control Y to go into outline mode. Now we need some points on the sides of our triangle, so what we're going to do is go to the Object menu, come down to Path and choose Add Anchor Points, like so, and we get anchor points that are right in the middle between each pair of points here. Now we only need the ones on the side for this, so we don't need to worry about the bottom one, but that's just fine. Let's get the line tool, so backslash is the quick way to get that, and go to the first of these anchor points and click and drag across down to one of the bottom corners. Okay, and then your smart guides will show you where the other point is, just here. If not, just deselect the line, okay, and with the triangle selected, it's very easy to find there, and repeat that process like so. And actually there are at least another way to do that, but this is fine just for now. So this tells us where the center of the triangle is, and we're going to need that information shortly. But first of all, let's go ahead and draw an ellipse. So if we tap L on the keyboard here, take ourselves down to one of the corners, okay, like so. I think I'll use the top one just here, okay, and then holding down Alt or Option and Shift so that we're drawing a regular shape from the center, click and drag outwards like so. Now how big you make these is entirely up to you, of course, but I'm basically going to make mine so it meets the bottom of that triangle like that. Remember to release the trackpad or mouse or whatever, okay, before you release the keys so that you get that regular shape. Okay, let's come out of outline mode, so Command Y or Control Y to do that, and we could then add some weight to this circle. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to do something meaty here. I've gone for 50 points, like so. Of course, yours may vary, and it's whatever you think works for you. In fact, I might bring that down just a bit, just there, like so. There we go. Something like that, I think, is pretty good. Keeping that selected, we're going to need the Rotate tool next. So tap R on your keyboard to get that, and bring your cursor down to the intersection of those two diagonal lines, like so. Hold down Alt or Option and then click, which does two things, of course. It sets the transformation point, okay, to the place where you clicked, and it also opens the rotate dialog. Now you need to enter 120 degrees in the field there, so for angle, and then we're going to create a copy. Now you could just click copy, or if you want to be a bit ninja about it, you could just hold down the Option key and hit return, and that creates you a copy, and then Command D or Control D, okay, will repeat that transformation. Perfect. We can just use that center point one more time here to draw yet another ellipse, so tap L on your keyboard to do that, and at that intersection, once again holding down Shift and Option or Shift and Alt, click and drag to draw a circle that intersects like so. You can see the angles here at the top of the triangles. That's what I'm kind of gauging this one on. Once we've done that, if you want to, you can go ahead and pick up the triangle and remove that and the intersection lines. We've got no further use for those at all. Whoops-a-daisy, I just got rid of the circle, so I'll undo that. There we go, and get rid of the triangle. Now we can select all of those elements, okay, and we're going to outline them. So we go up to the Object menu, come down to Path, and then choose Outline Stroke, like so. So now we have a bunch of shapes. And then tap D to give those the default appearance. So that usually is a white fill and a black stroke, as is the case here. If not, just change it to have some sort of fill and a black stroke. I'm then going to increase the weight of that. Okay, so I can kind of imagine there being about 4 more strokes in that white area to fill that. That's the kind of proportion I've gone for here. Okay, so 12, 13 points is working for me pretty well there. I also want to do something that might seem a bit wacky here at the moment. I'm going to go to the stroke menu here and I'm going to choose round end caps and rounded corners. Now at the moment you might think, well, they're all circles, you can't see any end caps, but of course that is going to change in just a moment. Next we need the shape builder tool, so Shift M gets you the shape builder. Now we're going to join up most of our shapes here to create the base shape that we need. So let's go to the first of these points here and I'm going to drag across these and join them together like so. And then we have to go around going over and under in turn. So this one has gone under, which means the next one goes over. It then goes under again, so I can join together the ones that it would go under, and then over, and then under. That's fine as it is. Okay. And now we can get rid of this shape on the end. So hold down Alt or Option and just drag across that to get rid of it. Then come back to your main shape, okay, and drag across here to join, because this one would need to go over, then under, okay, then over again, then under, okay, and now this one needs to be joined together just here like so. So that went under, so it now needs to go over like that, okay, and now that's really shaping up and we no longer need the top shape. So hold down Alt or Option and drag across to get rid of that. Pretty much here, we should just be able to join the bottom shape together like so, okay, and then we should be good to move on to the next step so we can get rid of this section here. But it's always worthwhile having a quick check. Start at a point and move around the shape, going under and over and under and over and under and over and under and over. Right, okay, and under. You can see just there that's working out just fine, and over and under. So once you get back to the beginning and everything seems okay, then that's great. Now what we can do here is turn this into something that could be cut in vinyl. Now to do that, we need to get rid, okay, of the strokes. So we're going to go up to the Object menu here, okay, come down to Path, and once more, okay, choose Outline Strokes, and then we just have a lot of shapes. I'll zoom in here. Now it's still not quite ready to process just yet, but what we can do, okay, is we can go to the Pathfinders and choose Merge, which will join together similar colors and create shapes. So if we choose Merge, you'll suddenly see that everything looks very, very different. If we go ahead and select any of this, okay, with the selection tool here, if I click on this, you'll see it looks different. And if we go into outline mode, okay, you'll be able to see that you have got shapes that could be cut on something like a Cricut machine or a Gerber Edge or anything like that if you were doing vinyl graphics, which quite a few people who watch this channel are. But otherwise, you've got the shape as you need. You can have it in whichever direction you want it to be. So I'm just dragging mine around like so, because I like mine that point upwards like that. And there you go. That's how you can draw a Celtic Triquetra design in Illustrator. And if you need to, you can create one that's cuttable on the machine that you may use to cut such things. Hope you've enjoyed that, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and hit that bell for notifications. I'll see you next time here in the Work Smarter, Not Harder dojo. See ya.